A request came through from the community for me to share with you guys mobile platformer games. These are some of the most original style video games of all time, and they are always a good time, especially when you have some good IPs that you could play with. Today I'm going to share with you guys 10 plus mobile platformers that are worth your time. Some brand new, others have been around for a while. Let's begin now and check out my list. First on my list here today is Odmar. I particularly like this game because of the graphics of it. It's one of the cleanest looking games of all of them on today's list. Also, the gameplay is quite fun. You're playing as this Viking style character who has to make his way through treacherous lands and just survive, and as we know in all platformers, get to the end. The enemies that you encounter are quite a bit of fun, and you'll see how many different IPs and other types of games have come into play inside of Odmar itself. So if you're looking for something brand new, something that's maybe a little bit less popular than others, but that I would highly recommend, Odmar is probably going to be, in my opinion, your number one choice. It's one that I personally enjoy as well as my kids. Next we have Fireball Wizard. This one's a ton of fun, and it's a retro style game like a lot that we're going to see here on the list today. You play as a cute little wizard and you go around during the stages and you take things down along the way. It's like a more casual version of a Castlevania, in my opinion. This one's actually a lot of fun as well. That's why it's more towards the front of the list. And it's something that's replayable quite a bit. This is one that I recommend to players that are into the retro style, maybe the more 8 or 16-bit style gameplay, and like a little bit of wizardry. I think this one is another top hitter on the list today. Now, Dadish is a game where you go through the stages as a radish. I know, it sounds kind of weird, and radishes aren't really that cool, but the game itself actually is. It's a simplistic style platformer. One that's going to make you use your brain to make sure that you can get through the different stages without dying because of all the treacherous things like hot dogs that are thrown at you along the way. It's definitely a cute, funny style game that brings that type of light enjoyment, but it's also really fun as a platformer itself. It does good by the genre. As you can see from the gameplay, you're going to be encountering french fries, fireballs, and other types of treacherous things that are going to take you down if you don't get out of the way. So a really good one here as well. I highly recommend it. Now, Super Meat Boy is a must-play. There's no question about it. This game has proven itself across all platforms now on mobile, and it's quite fun. You're playing as a chunk of meat and you can't get chopped up by stuff as you make your way through the platform. It's kind of a piece of meat with attitude, like Sonic is a hedgehog with attitude. I like it a lot. It was from an indie game studio that's done really well with it. One of the more popular indie games of all time, and really does platformers well. It's a really fast-paced one as well, so you have to make your way through the stages, think on the go, and think quickly. So it's actually quite challenging in that sense. This is not a casual style one. This one's a nail-biter that's going to keep you sweating through the stages. Now, if you do want something a bit more casual, you could take a look at Limbo, which is a more atmospheric style platformer game. This one also has a price tag of $2.99. Here you're playing as a silhouette of a boy going through these very mystical style stages. It is not a platformer like any that we've spoken about on the list here today so far. You do have little obstacles that you have to make your way through, and there are challenges along the way, but it's very different from anything else we've experienced. Most of the challenges that you're going to encounter are based on the stage itself versus enemies that you will encounter, although there will be enemies that you do encounter along the way. This is one of the top-rated platformer games, or actually, I should say top-rated mobile games in general that are on the market. It's a must-play if you're willing to spend a few bucks. Next we have Hack, where you play as a mystical superhero-style character that utilizes dash skills and abilities as you make your way through the platform. Lots of enemies coming down from on top and from the sides. It reminds me of a game that I used to play called E-SWAT back in the day, at least how the stages and the enemies are actually constructed, not the actual development of your character along the way. I like this one because of how quick the gameplay is and how quickly you have to react to everything that's incoming. On top of that, everything that you do as well is very fast-paced, very high intensity, which can be very fun. Dead Cells is a $9 mobile game, and it's one that is probably worth the money. It's one of the top rated platformers on the platform itself. where it does have a very fast style Contra feel, but not the whole Contra vibe. It's not like a medieval or cryptic style game. It's more of a, I kind of feel like you're in a dark Aladdin style theme for this game. Very fun, but it does have a heavy price tag. So although the game is really good, I anticipate that most of you watching won't be willing to open up your wallet and spend $9 in the game when I just gave you a whole bunch of other recommendations that are also quite good. That being said, this one is a great option if you're someone that doesn't mind spending a few bucks to support the developer. Dan the Man, real cartoony, real cute, real 16-bit style game right here. I play this, it reminds me of playing Sega Genesis games back in the day, which brings me back to my childhood and makes me just happy to play. A really cool game, but at the same time, takes things very light. I liked some of the combat mechanics, but even more than that, I like the bosses that you encounter along the way. I think they're pretty big and bad. This would be a recommendation for someone that's looking for more of a pick it up for a little bit, enjoy it because it's fun and cute, and then maybe not make it a year-long game that you're playing. But it is worth the try, and again, it's free to download, so why not give it a shot? Nameless Cat, where you play as a cat. It's an atmospheric style game where you are, the kitty, jumping your way through the different stages. I'm more of a dog guy myself, but I know that this cat has become quite popular over time. Maybe you're a cat lover, or maybe you want more of an atmospheric style game that has a nice whimsical feel to it, and the music vibe inside of this game is also quite nice. It's also very simplistic on the color schemes that it uses. Everything is very much on the same palette, which is an atmospheric experience that I think is cool. I like this game. Magic Rampage, taking things back to the medieval times when you were fighting inside of castles and fighting as wizards and warlocks. This game is pretty cool. As you can see, the gameplay looks quite a bit different than the little intro screen that we had right there, but it is a cool style game as well. I like how the graphic style here is different than many of the others that we've seen. It just has a different feel, and this game brings it a different vibe from all the others that have been on the list so far here today. You get different things to upgrade your character as you go, but that's pretty standard across the genre. And this one, as I like to relate to other games I've played in the past, it has more of a ghouls and ghosts style feel. Another game that came out early 90s that was really popular. I get the vibes from this one, and I don't know, makes me want to play it. Monster Dash, super popular, great IP. They've gotten a lot out of this young man, and it's a really fun one. It's an ongoing movement style game where you don't control the movement as you would in a particular platformer. It's just on the go, clear things out along the way. More of a side-scrolling endless runner here, but one that's really popular and actually quite good that I wanted to share with you. So now I did. Maybe you'll want to play it. You can let me know. And I could not complete this list without putting on Geometry Dash. If I did, you guys would slay me in the comments. So here it is, Geometry Dash, one of the most popular mobile games of all time. There are many renditions of this game, free versions and paid versions, and it all goes along to the music, which what makes this really good. It's also quite a challenging game and very colorful as well. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and want to keep up to date on all mobile games, all free-to-play PC games, and gaming in general, please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more.